No, money can't buy
Money
that.
can buy it.
Just like when I do it, you pay me.
Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying.
Welcome to our show, Our Perspectives, a show where we highlight African diasporans that are contributing to our communities. Today we have with us in studio Mr. David Vandy. He's one of those people whose reach spans the various African diaspora communities within the DMV area and the African continent. He is known and respected in countries such as Sierra Leone, Guinea, Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Senegal, and Nigeria, to mention a few. He is a radio, Nollywood, comic, that means comedy, and African gospel personality. Mr. David Vandy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's such a wonderful honor to be here today.
Thank you for honoring us with your presence, sir. How did you get involved in the African gospel scene?
Well, nobody has ever asked me that before.
I'm honored, I'm honored.
Getting involved in the African gospel, well, the African gospel musical contest, I did not just get involved in it.
Okay.
I actually created it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I am the founder of the African Gospel Musical Contest here in the United States of America.
Interesting.
And now we've formed an umbrella which is called the African Gospel Network.
African Gospel Network,
Yes.
okay.
And the reason being getting the African Gospel program together was to make sure I try to create a platform wherein the African gospel singers or stars could be seen and heard, you know, because there is nowhere in the United States or this part of the diaspora where we have like a radio or television that actually promotes the African gospel.
Okay.
All what happens to their CD, like all other secular artists, they go to the studio, pay their money, produce their CD, and all what we do, if we buy one copy, we put it in our car,
Then we'll bond the rest.
we burn the rest and give it to our families. If there are 20 members of our families, we pirate it, you know. And these people, nobody's talking about them. Nobody
They're-
cares.
they're talented.
Nobody recognizes their talent. So that's how the African gospel came about.
Okay, so I see from what you said is kind of in response to the fact that the secular African artists that have been, you know, doing real fine, and you know,
Yes,
and
yes.
the African gospel artists have been left or relegated to the background.
To the background, exactly. Because the secular artists are getting all the promotions.
Yeah.
Everybody cares. Everybody wants to go to a party. Everybody wants to do this, you know. But look at what the African gospel singers are doing. They have music that actually touches the soul.
So, soothe the soul.
Music that preaches to you. Music that lifts your spirit when you are down. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like the saying that when you sing, it's like you're praying 2 times.
Okay.
You know, you're praying twice when you're singing
Yeah.
gospel music. So nobody's recognizing them. That is one thing that actually touched me. Nobody's recognizing them. Nobody's giving them awards. You know, to look at what they do for the African gospel. Here in America, the gospel singers, they are big stars.
Called Franklin and the rest
Franklin,
of them.
Anthony Brown, I just saw him the other day. These guys are huge.
Yeah,
But what is different from what our own African gospel singers are doing?
yeah. So that was your inspiration
That was it.
behind creating the African
Creating-
Gospel Network itself.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. And in terms of the African Gospel Network and you also hosting the event, what has been, you know, the reception of contestants and participants in the African Gospel Network events?
Well, let me start first of all with the participants before I come to the contestants.
Okay.
Let me say, like the audience,
The
okay,
audience,
those
yeah.
who are coming there
So what?
to watch it. They've been very excited about this whole thing. I think when I explained my vision to them, this happened 4 years ago. This whole program is now 4 years
4
running.
years, okay.
You know, when I explained my vision to them, I said, "This is why I'm doing this," and they're beginning to see that, wow,
There is a need.
there's a need for it. They agree with me. And for our contestants, they kind of agree with me. They're on the same page with me. They need the promotion. They want people to know about them, you know. But at the end of the day, what I did is that because I decided to make it a contest, I created an area wherein the audience have to vote.
Okay, so voters' participation.
Voters' participation is what we do.
Okay.
All right. Wherein at the end of the day, people, you give them slips, because we have not yet come to that technology where you can just text in and all. You know, we've not come to that yet. But
gradually.
Yes, we give voters the slips with the names and everything. So you tick one, you know, who you think is the best. And so who gets the highest vote for the night goes. But this year, what happened, this in 2013, we decided to use the voter registration, the voter process, and celebrity judges.
Okay.
So we had judges there.
How many judges did you have?
We had three.
Three judges.
Two female and one male.
Okay.
And these people, one is a broadcaster and a musician, an international broadcaster and an international musician. She's American, but she spent a long time in Africa, and she knows about African music. She knows about gospel music. She was in a gospel band. She sings in the church. And we have another top gospel musician from Uganda who is now based here. He was the best in Africa in 2003. Jojo Kudi. And then we have a radio personality that is based here in the United States. So we had all of that, and it was good. But like I said earlier, the contestants, they will not always agree with you. Whether it's the people that made the judgment, whether it's the judges, they will still come to you and say, I was not treated fairly. And I was not the judge.
Someone has to win and
somebody has to
lose.
win.
Yeah.
And some of the time, some people will say, oh, it's a gospel. I don't think I should be competing. Yes, it's true.
They don't know that's a way to build up the.
You are building up. What we're trying to do is to build up your career, build up the audience, and we create an avenue so that you will be out there. That is why under the African Gospel Network, we're now starting the African Gospel Network magazine.
Oh wow!
And we're starting an African Gospel Network radio. Because we want a radio station. In as much as we'll start off with the internet, but gradually maybe down the road we'll be able to get an FM radio station, so that the African gospel music would be played somewhere. Somebody would come with their CD and say, hey, this is my gospel music, can you play it? So there will be a place where somebody can tune into their radio, go in their cars, just tune in, and they'll be able to listen to African gospel music. So we have all of that, including the contest. So that's why the network itself is now the umbrella, wherein you have the contest, you have the radio, you have the magazine, which is going to be the next project.
The next step.
Yeah.
Okay. And what countries, in terms of contestants in the African gospel event, what countries have they come from?
Well, for now, we're still trying to get most of the countries in Africa involved. Well, basically, for the last 4 years, we've had we have had Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ghana, the Gambia, Tanzania, Kenya, Democratic Republic of Congo.
So West, East, Central,
yes, Uganda, Cameroon. In fact, in 2010, the first contest was won by a Cameroonian.
Oh wow!
Josephina Tanga.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and in 2011, it was won by a Sierra Leonean, Millicent Rhodes, and in 2012 by another Sierra Leonean, Rebecca, who is based in London. Wow. And then in 2013, it was won by a Liberian.
Wow.
You know, in fact, in 2013, Liberians carried the day. They won the first place, second place, and the third place went to a Tanzanian.
Oh, one and two.
Exactly. And you know, this is funny because why I'm saying that, when in 2011 and 2012, two Sierra Leoneans won, I almost got beaten up.
Tell why?
Because they won back to back. They say, it's because you're from Sierra Leone. Why is it that it's only Sierra Leoneans that are winning? Why is there only?
They didn't know you weren't the judge.
I'm not the judge.
Yeah.
It was the people that voted.
Yeah.
And this time we had judges. And you know, what I said, what about the first year? It was won by a Cameroonian. And now that the Liberian won it, and even when a Liberian won it, another person came up to me and said, I don't think that guy should have won. I said,
he's from West Africa, next to Sierra Leone.
Anyway, that was interesting.
Interesting. So we spoke about your involvement in the Nollywood industry. Tell us about, and the Sallywood industry. Tell us about that.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not. I wouldn't say I am that involved in Nollywood.
Okay.
You know, as an African that is at a strategic location or a strategic point of contact, which is where I work, the Voice of America, and I have a program that is called the African Beat. With that program, I have been able to make connections.
Okay.
Because I believe that that is a strategic position to promote Africa. So whatever talent we have out there can come to that program and we can talk about it.
Have a voice.
So whether you are a Nollywood actor, you are a book writer, you are a musician, you know, all of you guys have an opportunity to meet me at that point of contact.
Okay.
So that is how my connection came.
About.
You know, so talking to actors and all these musicians and all this. So it is just that point of contact which made me to be out there with everybody,
Okay.
every African, you know. So, but I'm also looking forward to maybe one day just get into. I've been in a few, one or two of the Nollywood movies.
Okay.
You know, acted some, but I've been in acting for a very long time.
Okay.
I'm a theater person too, so I'm looking forward to that experience.
More experience.
Yes,
in
and
that.
I've worked with the Nollywood Film Critics Award of Dr. Olatoye. You know, that is now called the African Oscars. You know, he's a very respectable man, and he has got very high respect for me. So I have done a few work with him too.
Okay. In reference to you having that platform, how do you think the industry can evolve, and you know, in terms of making changes within the African continent itself, and you know, how do you think the industry can do that?
You see, there's one thing about the arts. It is a very powerful tool.
Okay.
The arts is a very powerful tool that we are not using. We can use the arts and the media to change anything
Exactly.
because it has got the power. When you take the arts, you know, like the acting, you know, it goes on video, it becomes a media, something that pushes out there.
People
The
see it.
message, people see it, people listen,
Yeah.
and those messages are coming out. And you have people who are looking at those pictures there. They're looking at them as the gospel.
Consuming it.
They believe it. So when you go out there, and like me, I have to be very careful, even what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Because anything that comes out of my mouth that I cannot take back. And by the time somebody hears it, the next thing they're going to say, oh, this is what David Vandy says, and it's true. And you know, and it goes like
And it
that.
goes around it, yeah.
So the arts is very powerful.
Yeah.
So we in the arts, whether it is Nollywood, whether it is Sallywood, whether it is Ghana, whether it's theater or radio or television, we can use that to change a situation in our country or our countries or the continent.
Yeah.
I know our people don't normally have respect for the arts, but I think Nollywood has changed a lot of that perspective.
Yeah.
Because the stars are being respected. And that is what I am also trying to get in, even in my own community, like in Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone.
Because our stars are not being given the utmost respect. Because those in authority just look at them all the time as dropouts. Some of us have been looked at that way before, but today some of them will come and see me and say, wow, so it was you, eh? I said, yeah,
Here the dropout.
it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and where I can stand to talk, some of you cannot even stand to talk there. So you have to respect these people because they only use them when it comes to elections. Oh yeah, with
To
you
get
when-
votes.
to get votes. When you do this drama, the people will listen to you. Yeah, with this, yeah. But you don't respect them. And so if you don't respect me, if you disrespect any of my artists, I will not respect you. Because it means when you're disrespecting them, you're disrespecting me.
Yeah.
Because that is my field. That is my area. And I'm proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them.
So you think that they do have a responsibility, and as people in the society that people look up to or people can look up to, they should have that sense to mirror some of the happenings in society.
They do. They do. We are role models.
Yeah.
We are icons. And when we stand out there, people, kids, look up to us. The way I dress, okay? When I walk the streets, there are kids out there who are looking at me, who have been seeing me on television, who have been hearing my voice, that are thinking to themselves, wow, when I grow up, I want to be like David Vandy. And then the next time they see me, they say, uh-oh.
What's going on?
What's going on? I have to make sure I present myself in a way that will pass on a message that will be good for the society. Maybe that is one reason why even the politicians are not respecting us, because we don't present ourselves the way we should be presented.
Take the craft serious and know
Take
that
it seriously.
Yeah.
You know, it does not mean long time ago when they see somebody with the dreadlocks, they say, oh, this is a Rastafarian, he's dirty, he's this, he's that. You don't even know what that person has up here. So everybody that says, oh, I'm a Rasta man, oh, they say you should wear a dirty jean, you should wear this, you should be jumping up and down. No, that's not what it means. So you don't just look at the people and you start judging. But again, it's up to you. The way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself, and then the people out there will respect you.
Definitely. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back with Mr. David Vandy.
They're presenting what they call Chibuzo, and it's directed by David Vandy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this wonderful group.
I'm giving you something you can feel.
That's my girl. She's giving me something. Baby, you know, I love my baby. Giving me something I can feel. Come on, baby. Give me some stuff now.
Well, please, you say that all the time.
Oh, and I'll continue to tell you how much I love you until the day I die. Huh? Woo! So you...
Gotta go to work. Bye.
All right, baby. Please, before you go, you know how much I love you, right?
Yeah.
And but when you go to that office of yours, I want you to tell all those small boys that have been watching you, especially that John Dumelo, the last time I saw him looking at you, you have to warn them all. And that other one, Majid, warn them.
Baby, I gotta go. Bye.
All right, sweetie.
Woo! Giving me. I'm running late. I don't know she.
That's my baby.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
See what?
Willie, you're trying to tell me you didn't see that girl walked away from me, right?
Oh, well, how can you force me to see something that I did not see?
Oh, yeah? It's like that.
Well,
Okay.
but she was late for work and she got around.
Okay, now I see. When it comes to gin, you're a blind man. You don't see. Right? All right. Now I'm
Oh
for
my
you. I
God.
hope it lasts.
Mama
I
again.
hope it lasts.
Hello? Yes, Mama. Yes, Mama. Oh, Mama, everything is fine. No worries, Mama. No wahala. My marriage is the perfect marriage. Mama, don't listen to Angela. She's just jealous. You know, it is not because you have not seen her or because she's an American. No. Mama, hey, I am adjusting to their culture here in America. So my wife too will adapt to our own culture. Mama, don't mind her. She's just like that.
That's it.
She just... Hey, you better... Hey! Mama, make you warn your daughter. Make you warn her. Because by the time I finish with her, her teeth will fly to go and meet
I
you in
want
the
to see
village.
that happen. Oh, Jim, slap me. Slap me.
Mama, don't mind. Oh, you're taking her side, eh? Oh, okay. Anyway, Mama, don't worry. Everything will be fine. Tomorrow, everything is going to be okay. Yeah. Oh, Mama, I gotta go. Bye. I'll talk to you later.
I forgot my folder. Was that Mama?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Everything okay?
No, everything is fine. You know, Mama, she's just calling to check here and there, you know.
Okay, honey. Bye.
All right. Bye, sweetie.
Hello.
Woo!
Hey, girl, sorry, running late. Gotta go.
Woo!
What is wrong with that girl? Did you see her again?
What?
What is wrong with you? You mean to tell me you didn't see that girl walked away from me again, right?
I did not see anything.
Okay, now I see. Now I see why Mama has always been so skeptical about this your marriage thing.
Point number one. It is not marriage thing.
What is it?
That is what we call love.
Really?
Real love.
Eh? You call that love? Really? Look me in the eye. You call that love?
Can't you go and find your own?
Wow! Hey! Bottom power! Hey! My brother!
Once again, welcome to our perspectives, and we still have in studio here Mr. David Vandy. You're one of those, as we said earlier, that when you speak, the African continent listens. We mentioned at the beginning of the show your involvement as a comedian and your involvement as a radio personality. Tell us about your work as a comedian.
You know, to be very candid with you, I didn't know how that one came about. I know I'm an actor.
Okay.
And I have played a lot of people before. That means I've impersonated a lot of people. Played different roles.
Different roles,
for several years. And you know, there was a day that my mom, she's passed now, rest in peace, Mama. She was sitting at a hall, and I was at a theater hall, and I was doing a play. And the people were raining abuses at me, at the character I was playing. Mm-hmm. And my mom was sitting there crying. And after the whole play, she came up to me. If this is it, you're not supposed to be in this kind of thing. How can they be sitting there and abusing me? I said, Mama, they were not actually talking to you. They were talking to that guy called Joe Wright.
The character
I was playing. Yeah. You know. So coming back to this comedy, and because of that, I started, you know, getting into different tongues, you know, speaking like different people. Mm-hmm. And I've got this sense of humor in me that I just love to make people happy.
Okay.
So wherever I am, I want to do something to make you laugh, take off the whole stress from you, you know, just make you enjoy yourself. So anytime I hold the microphone, it's like, just come. Okay. And I do it, you know. So people actually think people actually say, okay, oh, you're a comedian. Can you say something funny?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I do it. And you know, long time ago, one of my great guys was Chief Zebediah of Nigeria. You know, we used to listen to his cassettes.
Zebediah from New Masquerade. Go ahead.
You know, and so anytime I sit and listen to that guy, it's so interesting. Chief Zebediah would just come up one day. You know, I was listening to him and say, "Hey, Ogasa, hey. He said anything that are good, it's a European, and when it's a bad, it's Africa." It's a vulture. We are muffler for next. Oh, that is Scotland vulture. But when it's a chop, you buy for treat. That one African vulture. Rat, I get a pointed nose. Say, oh, that a English rat. You know, and you know, back home, we used to make fun of the way the Fula people talk. You know, we have Creole, and when they talk, sometimes they want to talk to Creole, but because of their own accent, it makes it very, very funny.
Sound different.
Sound very, very funny. Yeah. So sometimes I was in Conakry, Guinea sometime, and then when I came back, I built a story. I said, "Isabi tirade, I go na la Guinea, or then na la Guinea, I sit on pan de alakabo now called poda na firiton." Oh, then the alakabo in the go before. Now so the chiritin the go bien. Now, as simple as saying, I was in Guinea and I was sitting in this van you know, but they call it alakabo in Guinea, and we call it pura pura in Freetown. You know, but in this pura pura, when you sit in it, because it is so unkept,
wooden chairs,
and you see when the car is moving, you see the streets going backwards. You know, so and when I do that, people, and you know, because I'm an MC also, and when I stand in front of the people, anything that crosses my eye becomes a story automatically.
You make note of it.
You make yours out of it. So all that becomes very comical, makes people enjoy themselves. Yeah. And somebody will say, this thing you are saying, be careful. If David hears it, he's going to build it into something else.
He's going to use it.
You know, so that's how this comedy thing all came about. So, and with my acting ability,
it went hand in hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Given that we African diasporans, you know, live in a we work hard and we live in a stressful atmosphere or a stressful environment, what do you think is the importance of comic relief to our lives?
Nandi, it is very important. Very, very, especially in this part of the world that we live in. It is very important. You see, when we come here, we come with one thing in mind. When we come to America, is to come and work and make money. That is security. Oh yes, security. That's the first thing we think about. We don't know what is coming with that.
Yeah. The other baggage.
The other baggage that is got. We think when you come to America, it's just, well, when I get to America, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work and work and work. Sometimes you don't even sleep at your house. Eh? Some people don't even sleep at their houses.
Yeah. They have
because
houses.
They have houses, they don't even sleep in. You have to go this walk now. By the time you get into your car, you'll be sleeping.
And
driving. And then you wait by the door of the next job. You have to go in there. But you see, with the comic relief, sometimes the stress again is so much. That is why sometimes we, as parents, we don't even have time to take care of our kids. And sometimes when the kids talk to us, because of all this stress, we tend to rain our anger, frustration on them. But you know, with some of us coming in the picture, when we meet at some of these gatherings, we create some scenarios that will make you just laugh and forget about the worries of the world. Forget about all those pains. Forget about all those stress. And you will laugh so hard. And forget about that big time expectation. You will laugh so hard. You always start thinking about that when you're going back home.
Yeah.
You know, but for that moment that you're there and somebody is creating all this entertainment that will make you just enjoy yourself, just ease up all those burdens. I think it is so good for the soul.
Something money can't buy.
No, money can't buy.
Money can't buy.
Just that when I do it, you pay me.
That's a good one.
When I do it, you want me to do it, you pay for it. It is not free. It is not free. It is not just holding a microphone and talking. It is not free.
It's talent.
Yeah, it is talent.
Yeah,
and talent is not cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and you asked me about my radio part. I've been in radio for over 20 years. Started radio work when I was back home in Sierra Leone since 1990. I worked for the first FM radio station in my country, and I was the first person, the first radio personality to work on radio after midnight in Sierra Leone. By then we had just one radio station, which was national service, and so when the first FM radio station opened, that the station was closing at 12 midnight. So they needed somebody to start working from 12 midnight. So you can imagine in a whole country where everybody was going to sleep at 12.
You were up.
You are up. And you have to make sure you keep them up. And I did.
Interesting.
I did. So after that, I worked with National Service, radio and television, created a lot of programs. I love to create programs, you know. And then worked with the United Nations Radio after the war, during the war in my country. Worked with Radio Democracy, and then I became general manager of a private radio station before coming to the United States. And then in 2006, I started working with the Voice of America. So I've been at the Voice of America since 2006. So radio has virtually been my everyday life.
Oh, okay. Wow. Speaking of the Voice of America, there used to be a time when the Voice of America, the VOA, like we call it in the African continent, used to be the source where Africans learned about changes within their governments, such as coup d'etats and things like that. Do you think that is still the case? Do you think it still has that relevance it used to have in this day and time?
It does.
Okay.
It does, because the Voice of America still carries Africa on its shoulders.
Okay.
Voice of America have got an entire English to Africa service, French to Africa service, Hausa, Amharic, different aspects, Somali,
Different African languages.
African languages.
Yeah.
So we play around the African continent. Like for my program, it goes global.
Okay.
There is one which is Africa Live, there is Global Live, there is World, so everywhere. So, and for people to hear some African problems on Voice of America first, yes, it is still happening. And one thing I'm excited about right now, that I'm in America and I work for Voice of America, is the fact that even in America now, because of technology, people can listen to the Voice of America.
That's it. That point you just made, let's just clear that up right now. It used to be the case that, Voice of America, some people, used to say it was interesting that you could hear it on the African continent, but you couldn't hear it here. Just an example of maybe like the CNN, you watch a different version of CNN here than you watch when you travel abroad.
Yes.
So are you trying to tell us that it's now different, that you can now hear the Voice of America here in the United States?
It is getting to that, like I said, due to technology.
Okay.
It is getting to that. When the Voice of America was formed, it was beamed to the outside world to propagate during the world wars and all this.
The American interest.
The American interest. Thank you. And so some people in America
don't even know what it is.
Yeah. I can remember the first time when I entered DC. I drove myself for the first time to get into DC when I was going for my interview. I was looking for Voice of America. I was right on Independence Avenue looking for the building. And I saw a police officer. I said, "Excuse me, please. Can you direct me where Voice of America is?" He said, "What's that?"
You might as well be speaking Greek.
I said, and I looked at, you mean to tell me
You're a cop, but you don't know?
you don't know what Voice of America is? America's only federal, international, the biggest radio
channel. Yeah.
It's okay, sorry. I had to find my way. So, but now, being here, because of the internet, you can access Voice of America and listen to it.
Wonderful.
And very recently, I think the early part of this year, they have repealed that law.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They've repealed that law which banned the rebroadcast of Voice of America programs in America.
In the United States.
In the United States.
Wow.
So now, if you have a radio station and you think there's an interesting program on Voice of America that you can relay, you have the authority. You can hear it. You have the authority to do that. You have the authority to do that.
Wow.
So
we're learning something new. This is entirely new.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That is happening right now.
Okay.
So that makes me really, really excited.
Wow. Interesting. So, the next question we're about to ask was that, given the technological innovations, the super internet as a super highway, how do you think it has impeded the relevance of the Voice of America? So it's interesting to know that now you can listen to it here in the United States, and it also probably now has broad appeal because of the technological
Yes, and in
advancements on the
fact, we
continent.
now have, like, we're going right around Africa. We have countries where we have 24/7 broadcasting transmitters that broadcast Voice of America programs non-stop. Non-stop. I think one country that we've not been able to penetrate so far is Nigeria. So they're still using the shortwave band.
Okay. So you mean in other countries it's gone from the AM to the FM?
To the FM, yeah.
Down? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
When our superiors have the authority, they will go in there, they set up an FM radio 24/7 that will be broadcasting Voice of America programs right around the clock. So that makes it all the more easier on us.
Before we conclude, Mr. Vandy, tell us about some of your impending projects that you have coming up in the future.
Oh, well, somebody said if I don't get tired, I said no, as long as it's Africa, I don't. When I'm promoting Africa, I don't. I am trying to bring awareness to our people here in the diaspora about our movies that are being shot in my home country, Sierra Leone.
Okay. Sallowood.
Yes. And so, like, coming in December, I'm going to be doing a private screening of one movie called The Wheel. The Wheel is done by one of Sierra Leone's finest filmmakers, Jimmy Bangura. And Jimmy started his filming career when he was here in the United States. He was one of the soldiers in the palace of Eddie Murphy's Coming to America.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, he was one of the guards there in that palace. So he worked with Eddie at that time before he left. He's a very powerful musician also.
And that's a powerful movie.
Yes, it is. And so when he went back home, he penetrated Nollywood, and he said, well, instead of me just being here, why don't I go home and try to build up our own stars? And he has been doing that. But now we're trying to make sure with the African movie market expanding in the United States, we're also trying to make sure we bring in Sierra Leone movies in. And like I told you earlier about the African Gospel magazine, under the African Gospel Network, between now and the next 6 months, we'll be releasing the African Gospel Network magazine that will feature African gospel stars across that are here, those that are out, so that somebody can go to our website, somebody will see these magazines and they'll say that, wow, well, at least there is some place where if we want to locate African gospel musicians,
we have a
point of contact.
Okay.
Yeah. So for now, basically those are the two, and I'm also thinking of my place. I told you I'm a theater person, and World AIDS Day is coming, so I'm thinking of doing a play on AIDS. On World AIDS Day.
So you have the premiering of the movie The Wheel, which is coming up on December 13th.
Yes.
Okay, and by producer Jimmy Bangura.
Yes.
And you have the African
Gospel magazine
Network and magazine all coming.
Yes, coming out in the next 6 months. The magazine is going to come out, but all before that, preceding all of that, there's going to be maybe a play on AIDS for World AIDS Day.
And given that you're a man that wears different hats and fills different shoes, how can our audience get in touch with you? How can they reach you, to share some information or to get some information from you?
They can check out the African Gospel Network website, which is www.africangospelmc.org. www.africangospelmc.org. You can also send an email to info@africangospelmc.org.
info@africangospelmc.org.
Yeah. You can send me an email there. My office is my office. When we want to talk about official things, we deal with that.
And it's been interesting. It's been informative. Thank you for spending time here on Our Perspective with us, Mr. David Vandy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Namdi. It's been a wonderful pleasure being here and with all these wonderful people. I like Omar, right?
Yeah.
And his wife. You know what I said to them? It is so good to be in love with your best friend.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you look at Omar, Mr. and Mrs. Omar Rafiq, they're best of friends.
And for those of you at home, Mr. Omar Rafiq is our producer behind the scenes. So that's who.
So I want
Mr.
to thank
Vandy
them and thank you so much for this invitation.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And anytime, any day, I'll be around.
Thank you very much and keep up the good work.
All right.
Once again, we've just wrapped up another edition of our show, Our Perspectives. We thank you guys for watching. Thank you.